Hey guys, day 10, coming to you live from the basement of the Steve's home. Okay, so my 30 days of going live is averaging to be about 60 days. Seems to be about every other. Don't care. I'll get those 30 days in, okay? But I hope everyone had a great weekend. It's almost 10 o'clock, so it's very close to bedtime for me. But it's quiet here. My brain can think. Woo! It was a crazy day. It was a great weekend. What did we do? Well, first of all, we started out Friday night with football, smoking the Howard's Grove team, 50-16. And if you think that sounds cocky, well, let me just tell you what we went through the 7 years prior to this year. Okay, so we're really enjoying this year. It's really great. It's really great to not see like 8 kids laid out flat on the sidelines with concussions and broken fingers and sprains and things like that because they just don't have enough kids in size in town, whatever. So it's just exciting. Saturday, patients had soccer. Today we had church. It was great. We had our first Bible study of the week. First Bible study of the year. We always start after Labor Day. And we are doing it on apologetics. And when I say we, my husband, because he's a pastor, he's leading it on apologetics. It was great. And then it was just a relaxing day. Watch the Packers win. Yay. Yay. Green and gold. And then tonight I had 2 calls, a training I led, and then our team huddle with like close to 300 people on it talking about our crazy, awesome launch coming up in the beginning of October, about our new product that will be the first product in the market to this industry. Like nobody else has what this product is going to be in this space of wellness. So that's really exciting. I have some ideas. We have hints. Only people in like very top leadership know. They have NDAs they sign, so they can't say. Lots of hinting going on. I'm just really pumped to find out. But what am I going to talk about tonight? I'm going to talk about my top energy hack, which is ironic because it's 10 p.m. I really shouldn't be talking about energy. But let's say you watch this tomorrow. Let's say you watch this on the replay. It's Monday morning. You've got the Monday blues and you need some energy. So we're going to talk about my top energy hack that costs less than Starbucks. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 things. 1, how my top energy hack costs less than Starbucks. 2nd, can we just also talk about let's just talk about finances when it comes to what people spend. So, okay, first of all, hands down, it's called Mojo. You've seen me talk about it. Maybe you haven't. It's coffee. It's coffee. Okay. So it's not like some weird coffee. I know, being a health weirdo like I am, I've tried many things over the years. I remember like carabine for a while was a thing, or dandelion tea, and like, let's just be honest. It's not coffee. Does not replace coffee. It has health benefits. We drink it because it's healthy. It tastes gross. Okay. I'm not going to lie. This is the best coffee I've ever had. Okay. The best, go to a coffee, little ma pa coffee shop that roasts their own organic beans, and that's really good. This tops that. I made a cup for my sister-in-law one time when she was here, and I didn't even tell her what it was. I just said, I'll make my whatever, and I don't think she's really paid attention because we used to just always make a pot and share it and whatever, and she was like, took a sip, she was like, oh my goodness, what is this heaven in a cup? What is this heaven in a cup? Like, so, I wasn't like, she wasn't trying to be a spokesperson for me. She literally loved it, and she loves coffee. So this coffee is, first of all, it's instant. Okay. So, but when you think instant, don't think like Sanka instant. My mom used to always drink that when we were growing up, or any other kind of instant coffee. This is a like minimally processed, completely organic, here's the kicker, completely mold free. Most of your coffee beans are going to have some form of mold toxins on it. Now, maybe you don't care, but if you have a mold sensitivity like I do, and a lot of people actually do, okay, do you know one sign of having mold toxicity is like if you walk in from the outside and you go into a building, do you ever struggle with like adjusting your eyes? Now, I'm not saying everyone that has problems adjusting their eyes has mold toxicity, but these are people that frequently, every time, really struggle with like their eyes adjusting to being in a building that has mold in it. And like most homes and buildings have some form of mold. And if you don't have a problem with mold and you can methylate it out, you're going to be able to you'll be fine. But you're not just going to have those classic symptoms of like getting all stuffy and sneezing and feeling sick and whatever. Like there's so many symptoms. And my functional doctor just discussed this last week, that if you are somebody that like comes from the outside into an inside building and you're struggling with getting like your eyesight, like it just kind of feels darker in there, or maybe you see like little like flashy type things, this can all be things that you're struggling with mold. Now, we can't get rid of the mold. Mold's everywhere, but we can lower it, and we can also help our bodies process it better. Like God made our bodies to be able to like get that stuff out, right? But when we get it all blocked up and clogged up with stress and toxins and crappy food and things in the air and extra things, it's just a lot harder to do. So you're going to be able to be assured this is not going to have that in it. And it just tastes really, really good. But here's the kicker. It's cheaper. It literally is cheaper than buying like any cup of coffee from any coffee shop. I just say Starbucks because I know people love Starbucks. I'm not a fan of Starbucks. I don't know what people's big thing is with Starbucks. I don't get it. If I'm going to go buy a coffee locally, I'll either go to like a local mom and pop shop because I want to support them, or honestly, Dunkin' Donuts coffee tastes like 1,000 times better to me than Starbucks does, but whatever. People like Starbucks and they pay for it out of the nose. And I think because people, when they drop cash, like $5, $6 at a time, they aren't thinking of what they're actually spending. And this is a big problem in our world in general, and this is why we have such a huge debt problem and people with so many financial problems is they just get used to living this lifestyle. But if you can like readjust your thinking and just do a little bit of planning, okay? And you're not talking to like the planning guru of the world here. Hello, people who know me know me. It doesn't take a ton of effort to cut little things out and then plan like once a month in advance. So first of all, it tastes better, it's cheaper, it's healthier for you. And not just is it mold free and it does taste better, but it also has things added into it like methylated B vitamins, which is going to help your mood, your energy. L-theanine, it's an amino acid, and it's the coolest amino acid because it actually increases your focus and concentration without giving you like a stimulant effect. So it's the coolest. It's just the coolest thing. It gives you focus and concentration, but calms your body. Isn't that cool? I think it's really, really cool. Now, your coffee and the green tea leaf extract have natural caffeine in it, so that is going to give you. I know, Leanne. I'm like occasionally I'll get one, like at an airport or something. I'm like, bleh. I just don't like it. I don't get it. But anyway, so natural caffeine and artificial caffeine, by the way, are different. Natural caffeine is still going to be caffeine in your body. Okay. So it will give you an energizing effect, but when you balance that out with the methylated B vitamins and the L-theanine amino acid, it just creates this like perfect world. Now, is everyone going to have the same 100% effect with Mojo? No. And I say this over and over. We are not cookies cut from the same batch of cookie dough with the same cookie cutter. We are all unique. We all have very specific DNA. But the majority of people who are already drinking, okay, no. I would say everyone who drinks coffee loves this coffee, hands down. Full stop. I'm just saying if you are not necessarily a coffee drinker, not everyone will have that same experience, but the majority do. My 22-year-old son, when he was started drinking it at the second half of his senior year, he started with half a serving. And he went in and took a physics test. It was like a 3-hour physics test. And he's like, I have never been so laser focused in my life. What was that stuff? So, I'm not putting anything in this kid's mind, and I'm not paying him to say anything. Although he does make money. And I think I've talked about that through this company. That's for a different day. But anyway, so that's how I start my morning, every morning. I get up, actually look forward to getting up now, which is kind of crazy because I'm not a morning person. It literally gets me out of bed. So if you're like me, if you're more of a night owl, struggle more in the morning, amazing. Sit down in my recliner, have my devotion, read my Bible reading, do my Paul David Tripp devotion book, and sip on my Mojo. And then it's either I take the kids to school or Joel takes the kids to school. And I will be honest with you, I am not a everyday, not even close to an everyday, maybe once or twice a week would I ever stop to get a coffee, just kind of for the flavor of it if I don't have my mojo on me. But I know there are people who go to coffee places every single day for something. Even if they're not drinking coffee, they get like some frou-frou, high sugared, overly processed. I mean, have you ever seen where that stuff comes from Starbucks? It's just bags of stuff, bags of mix. It's not like real whipped cream. It's whatever. So first of all, there's that. But then I also wanted to lead into the concept of where people prioritize their life in terms of their finances. And this is not saying that I don't feel where you're at financially. Okay. If you know me, I did not grow up in wealth. I grew up as a pastor's kid. I remember being on food stamps as a kid. They were the green little food stamps that you had to tear off and then lick and put on a Post-it thing. I don't know why I remember that. I just do. I think my dad, when he first became a pastor, 1977. Yes. My mom said he made $8,000 a year. And my mom was a nurse, but she couldn't really work at first because she had little kids. So this is not like I was grown or raised on a silver spoon. I have always been somebody that has had to be very aware of what I was spending, how much I was spending. And then I married into a family that they were even more so like that. My husband's one of 7 kids. His dad was a pastor. His mom never worked. Yes, times are different today. I'm just saying this was how we were brought up. All right. This is how we were raised. So it just is kind of ingrained into you. So I understand that today things are crazy expensive. But that's part of the issue is we have to learn now that we can't keep living in that same box of crazy expenses and thinking that everything we've been doing and everything maybe the governing authorities have told us, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in and alone by itself for the majority of people. So how do you shift your thinking? And I thought of this today because today was a Packer game, right? It was, I think, was today the first real season? I don't even know, but it was in Green Bay. So green and gold everywhere. Manitowoc, we're right off the interstate. So it's just green and gold everywhere all morning. And, at Quick Trip, and everyone's going to the Packer game. And take a look at an NFL stadium. You're going to tell me that people can't afford to put $100 or $200 into their health a month when the NFL stadium is literally packed. And let's be real, I've been to a few of these games in my life. I don't buy the crap at those places because first of all, it's crap. But second of all, it's so ridiculously expensive. What is a beer at an NFL game? $16? I don't even know. Probably more. And they don't just have one. Even if it was just one, that's insane to me. But these people are drinking a lot. Okay, it's Green Bay. But the stadium's packed. The tickets themselves, the food, the beers. And honestly, some of these people in years past I have talked to, and they have actually told me they can't afford these products, this kind of living. Now, I know there are legit people who truly do struggle, and they're also not at Packer games, going on trips, going out to eat multiple times a week, and going to Starbucks every day. So you're real easy to read, all right? And you're not fooling anybody. And I'm not trying to sound cruel and mean. I'm just saying it's not. If you're that person doing the Packer games, the trips, the Starbucks every day, the eating out, the stopping at the gas stations to get your kid a $3 to $4 Gatorade every day for his sport that he's in 4 of them, and their traveling teams. So we know how much those cost. No, don't say you can't afford it. You don't want to afford it. And here's the thing too. Truth is sometimes really painful to hear, but that's where I stop. It's just, don't fool yourself. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling anyone else. But I'm not going to go on and criticize. I want to bring compassion into that. And I want to say, if that makes you angry and you don't want to just move on and not listen to me, fine. But if it kind of hurts, because like that's usually when I've made big changes in my life, is when I've been faced with something that either hurt me, kind of offended me, but I knew it was true, but it was offensive. And then I had to ponder on it. I had to get over all those emotions. I had to get over the hurt first. I had to get over the, why did they say that? And then I had to be like, dang, they're right. In Bible study today, one of the ladies in our church is a Christian, but she did not grow up, she did not grow up Christian, but she also went through all sorts of she was into Indian mysticism, Buddhism, she was not a believer. And when she was 18 years old, she somehow met up with a man who was a Christian, and I don't know the whole full story, but he was very harsh with her. Now, we always think we can't be harsh with anybody. We have to always be very, we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. We want to tell them about Jesus, but we don't want to hurt their feelings. But here's the deal. This guy, if what she said is true, and now she's probably in her 60s, he literally told her, if you don't believe that Jesus is the risen Savior and gave you eternal life, you're going to hell. And she remembers that, and it made her mad, because at this point in her life, she was into, Indian mysticism and all these things, but it made her think. And it wasn't until I think she said 5 or 6 years later that she was actually, approached with it again. But that conversation was always in her head. And then she did end up, she's a Christian today. And 40 some years later, all those years, she's now been a Christian. And it was because that one person was really actually harsh with what he said. Now, I'm not saying be harsh all the time, but sometimes it's what we need. It's really what we need. And I don't know about you, but when I've made big changes in my life, I cannot think of one time it was somebody that was just really coddling me and just trying to help me find all the excuses of why I was where I was. And just but you can do it. But yeah, I know you've had it so hard. You've had this, and you've had this illness, and you've had this happen. And the thing that really sparked me was actually something that really dug deep, like a knife. So I'm a little bit more like that, because life is so precious, and we don't know how much time we have left. And we need those little kicks in our butts from whoever it comes from. Maybe it comes from a loving friend, maybe it comes from an enemy, but God can use enemies to also change us. All right. So I don't want to be somebody that is a fear-based person. We hear that all the time, every day, all day long in the media. But the reality is that the majority of people who really want to change, there's a way you can change. And if cost is your biggest setback, is your biggest thing holding you back, then let's chat. Okay? Maybe it's not even me. Maybe I'm not the one to chat with you about it, but find someone to chat with, because I guarantee you there's a way you can do it. Will you have to make some changes? Heck yeah, you do. You have to make changes. You cannot keep living the same way you've been living and add one thing but not change anything else and think anything's going to change. You just can't. It's just for whatever you're trying to change in your life. Change is hard. Accept it. But it doesn't stay that same hard. It's hard, and then you overcome a big hump, and it feels really good, and you have a bunch of momentum to keep going, and then you're going to hit another really hard spot. It's probably going to be harder than the first time, but then you're going to overcome it. And that's how you keep getting stronger. So that's what I want to talk about on day 10 was, first of all, my energy hack that costs less than a Starbucks a day. And also, if you want something bad enough, you're going to find a way to get it. If you choose to not, then that is on you. That's your choice. You made that choice. Nobody made that choice for you. You made it. It's simple. It's really simple. It's simple, yet we make it complicated. But I'm just here to tell you it really is simple. So, all right. I'd love to know your thoughts. Good or bad. I don't mind. I love conversation. Okay, have a great night. And have a great start to your week tomorrow.